Welcome to IELTS Easy. Writing 1. What to expect in writing. This lesson will take a detailed tour of the IELTS writing test. It will explore the format and layout of the test and review the types of questions you may encounter.
Here are goals for this lesson. Take some time to carefully read them, and when you're ready. The structure of the IELTS writing test is really quite simple. It consists of only 2 writing tasks. But candidates still find it challenging to achieve a high band score. In the test, you will be given 1 test booklet and 1 answer sheet. The test itself takes 60 minutes. And during this time you'll have to complete 2 tasks to achieve a high band score. The topics of both writing tasks will be of general interest, so any specialist knowledge you have will probably not be an advantage to you. In the first task, you will be presented with a graph, or a table or a diagram. In task 2, you will be presented with a point of view or argument or problem, which you must respond to. I'll discuss these 2 types of questions in more detail later in the lesson. An important tip before we move on. In the exam, use the test booklet as a worksheet. It's perfectly okay to do so. And it can make a big difference in helping you organize your answers. I'll talk more about this later. Let's have a closer look at writing task 1. In task 1, you may be presented with a graph, or a table, or a diagram, and asked to summarize the information shown. It's important to note that the vocabulary used in your answer must be of an academic standard. You will be asked to write a minimum of 150 words in response to the question, and you should complete the task in 20 minutes. If you're presented with a graph or table, you'll be required to analyze and compare the data. You may even be given more than 1 graph or a graph chart combination. You'll need to identify and write about the main features or trends of what's presented. To do this well, you must have a good understanding of the language used in this type of analysis. If you're presented with a diagram, you'll need to explain how it works, or describe the various stages of a process or an event. Some possible types of diagrams might be a flow chart or some other simple picture. You must demonstrate in your answer that you understand the relationships within the elements of the diagram. Here are some examples of the types of questions you can expect in writing task 1. Notice in the first example, 2 graphs are presented in relation to the same question. The second example, however, simply consists of a table. Take some time to study these examples. You don't need to answer these questions now. Just concentrate on the type of question and what it is you're asked to do. Keep in mind that your answer must be written using academic language. Let's now have a look at the second writing task. In task 2, you're asked to write about a topic, giving reasons for your answers and including relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. In your written response, you must give your opinion on a subject and support your position with sound reasoning and a logical conclusion. You're expected to use your own knowledge and experience to support your ideas or position. Writing task 2 requires a minimum of 250 words, and you must complete the task in 40 minutes. Just as you did in task 1, you'll need to use academic English. Task 2 type questions often ask you to agree or disagree with a particular statement, or you may be asked to justify or support your position on a given topic. Or you may be required to point out the advantages and disadvantages of a particular idea. And note, writing task 2 is worth more points than writing task 1. Let's have a look at some examples of this second writing task. Again, don't try and answer the questions. Just take the time to analyze and think about the type of questions that are being asked. Note that unlike task 1, in this task, you will need to draw on your own knowledge, ideas and opinions. Students, I've given you an overview of the test. But how will your written answers be judged? Firstly, it is vitally important that you answer the question correctly. Many students write a lot of words which really don't answer the question, and they're penalized as a result. Secondly, you must use an appropriate use of English. No slang words or abbreviations. If you're preparing to take the IELTS and enroll in university, it's expected that you already have a good English vocabulary. Please use it and continue to improve it. Thirdly, Make sure that your writing piece fits together well. By that I mean, it should flow easily and logically. From one idea to the next. Lastly, a very simple point. You must make sure that you write at least the minimum number of words assigned each task. For task 1, you should aim to write just over 150 words. And for task 2 you should write just over 250 words. If your answer looks short, the examiner will count your words. Of course, in the exam you don't want to waste valuable time counting words. So be aware of how many words you usually write per line. When you know your average, you'll know how many lines you need to write to reach the required number. Students, writing is not an easy module to prepare for, and you'll need to be confident in your written expression skills. In later lessons I'll be giving you techniques that will certainly help you in the exam. But they can't make up for a poor vocabulary base or poor grammar. They only come from diligent practice. Well done. You have now completed this lesson. Before move on to the next lesson, make sure you fully understand the lesson above. I recommend you to review from the beginning. See you in the next lesson.